Hello and welcome to this League of Women, to this Candidates Forum for the Mayor of City of White Bear Lake. I'm Liz Nordling, a member of the League of Women Voters of the White Bear Lake area and a league trained to monitor. I do not live in the city of White Bear Lake. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan volunteer organization which encourages citizens to participate in government. Our mission is to support voter education and voters' rights. Though the League studies and takes positions on issues, we do not support or oppose any candidate or political party. Our goal is to encourage citizens to learn more about the positions of the candidates who will be on your ballot on the primary on August 12th. All candidates who filed for this position were invited to participate. With us today are two of the candidates, Stephen Laliberte and Mary Nicklawske. Matthew Schoenthaler is unable to be with us today. To begin, each candidate will introduce themselves by name and make an opening statement of up to 1 minute. Our timekeeper will show warning signs of 30 seconds and 15 seconds, and then a stop sign. At that time, you can finish your sentence. For the opening statement, candidates will respond in alphabetical order, and thereafter I will be alternating between the two candidates. Candidates will have 1 minute to respond to each question. And candidates, you don't need to use the full time. You can just say what you have to say and be done, and that will allow time for more questions. When the questions are finished, the candidates will have 1 minute for a closing statement, and that will be in the reverse alphabetical order. Candidates were received in advance from the public and reviewed by a committee of League members. We will not use questions that are unclear, hostile, or of a personal nature. We may consolidate questions that fall in the same general topic area. All questions submitted are the property of the League of Women Voters. This forum is being recorded today by the SCC. The complete unedited recording will be posted on our League's website and YouTube channel and may be replayed on the local cable channel. Editing is authorized only for official media reporting. Excerpts or edited clips of this forum may not be used for partisan or political purposes. We will now begin with opening statements, and we will start with Stephen Laliberte.
Thank you. My name is Stephen Laliberte. Yep, that's my real name. It's French. It means the freedom. I always wanted to live in White Bear Lake. When we were dating, we would come here in the mid-'70s with my little sailboat. We'd sail the lake, we'd swim. We'd always dream about moving here. Well, in the year 2000, our dreams came true. We bought a little house on White Bear Lake. We have 4 children, 6 grandchildren now. Got a couple we're still working on. And I have been involved with White Bear City government for, that my 30? For the last 17 years, I founded the Birch Lake Improvement District, and I have served on that as a board member, secretary, and I'm the current chair. We are a tax district within White Bear Lake, so I'm familiar with managing budgets within the city. Thank you.
Next with her opening statement is Mary Nicklawske.
Hi, thanks so much for having us here today. I'm a 16-year resident of White Bear Lake, but I grew up nearby, about 4 miles away. And even back then, growing up, I came here a lot and realized how wonderful this town was. I have a bachelor's degree in sociology and a master's degree in blind rehabilitation. I come from a family of veterans, and I started my career working with veterans at the VA hospital who were blinded in service to their country. I went to teach adults and children living with blindness. Blindness doesn't discriminate, and so I've worked with people from all socioeconomic backgrounds, all religions, all faiths. My husband and I chose to raise our son in White Bear Lake because of the fabulous community here. We really wanted our son to grow up in a sense of community, and over the past few years, we've discovered that that kind of has dissipated and people are feeling a little bit more torn apart, and I want to bring that community back together.
Thank you. We'll now go to the first question. It goes to you first, Mary. What motivated you to get involved with city government?
Yeah, like I said, we moved here. My husband and I used to live in Ireland, and when my son was little, when he was 1 to 3, and we really, really, really loved the community spirit that was there and the kindness and close support that you got when you were there. So when we moved back, we really were looking for a place that we could have that again, and we found that here in White Bear Lake. And over the past few years, whether it's COVID or social media, I don't know what it is, but I've felt that kind of go away, and people are feeling less unity here. And I really wanted to bring that back together. I see that we have 5 great wards here in White Bear Lake, 5 neighborhoods that really want to be included in this community, and I want to bring that back together, and I want to foster that, and that's what motivated me to run.
Thank you. Now with his responses, Stephen?
I've been serving the city for a number of years, but I put most of my energy into building my businesses, selling my businesses. My 2 sons are running businesses that I helped them start. So I've had a focus on economic development. Now that I'm retiring, I have more time. And I'm really interested in being a spokesperson for the city. I want to help evolve the city. I want to help, I want to preserve the history and the wonderful community, but I also want to advance it. And I know that there are a number of things that you do as a mayor that are just, it's a lot of shoveling. I don't know if you've been to the meetings, but there's a lot of statutes, there's a lot of things. It's like a ship to run this city. So it's a lot of work. So number 1, I want to do the work. Number 2, I want to promote the community.
Thank you. We'll now move on to the next question. It goes to you first, Stephen. What does White Bear Lake get right? Where can it improve? Please be specific.
You know, I've been interviewing with, I shouldn't say interviewing, I've been meeting all of the department heads, and I've been getting just a tremendous education on sort of the inner workings of our city. What does a city do right? Well, it's been pretty good on the budgets. The taxes have been held in check to some degree. They have gone up, but in today's environment, you're going to have to raise it because everybody needs to attract employees. The police department's doing a great job. The fire department, outstanding, and they've gone through a major set of transitions. I've had the opportunity to step in and lead a number of different organizations, and I do not jump in and try to turn the ship quickly. Everything, and like a city, has a certain amount of momentum. Before you start changing things, you need to understand what is the trajectory and how you're going to do that. So I don't know all the things that I'm going to change. We'll find out.
Thank you. Now the question goes to Mary.
Well, I think the city really gets right working with their volunteer organizations. The volunteers in this community are incredible, and the city works tremendously with them. Our fire, ambulance, and police rapid response is incredible. I know we get that right. Our public works is top-notch. Everyone's always able to get to their jobs in the morning. We have a dedicated and knowledgeable staff that honor our past, but kind of inch us into the future. And we have an active community spirit. I think what we get wrong a little bit sometimes is putting off things. We haven't had our sidewalks done in downtown White Bear Lake since the 1970s, and that poses some problems for people. And I think we need to communicate with our constituents a little bit better and include all wards. We have 5 wonderful wards in the city, and I'd like to include all of them. So that's another thing I'd like to improve.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next question. It goes to you first, Mary. Talk about your ideas regarding the recently accepted parking and mobility study report designed to revitalize downtown. What excites you and what disappoints you?
Yeah, well, as something I did for a living, I work with people who are blind and visually impaired. I teach them how to walk around with a cane and a guide dog, and I'm really into downtown environments and seeing them through eyes of people who can't navigate very well. I think the thing that really stuck out to me is that they're trying to improve the street crossings with bump outs. I really like that. They're trying to improve the Washington Avenue and 3rd Street crossing, which I think is a problem, and they really want to put in new sidewalks because right now it's kind of a patchwork quilt. I also enjoy the bike racks and the bike lanes, trying to bring more people from Lake Avenue into downtown. I will communicate with the public on their needs and wants. It's going to be a tricky situation on what we can afford and what we can't. And so I will try to communicate with the business owners and the public on what they really want and what we really need in downtown.
Thank you. The question now goes to Steve Laliberte.
Yeah, I've taken a look at that study, and the sidewalks are going to be dealt with. And the parking is always an issue. There's a couple of lots that are potentially in play, and should we invest in those? I don't really know at this point in time. I'd like to see maybe some auxiliary parking that's off-site that we could run buses to and fro for major events. That would certainly help me. I have to park about 12 blocks away, and I can't walk too far these days. So thank you very much.
Thank you. The next question goes to you first, Stephen. A great deal of attention and money is focused on downtown White Bear Lake. What do you envision for the rest of the city? For example, the south side.
Yeah, the south side has got some wonderful attributes. The park that's down there, the YMCA. So I would like to see some focused investment there. And again, I don't want to jack up the budget, but maybe we could put some water park down there. Those people can't necessarily walk to the lake. They don't get the advantage of that. So I'm interested in studying that. At this point in time, I don't have enough information to say I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, but I'm certainly open to community input and making that a priority.
Thank you. The question now goes to Mary Nicklawske.
Yeah, I think the south side sometimes doesn't get much attention paid to it, and I'd really like to focus more on the parks there. I would also like to continue the bike path. I know the bike path from the Bruce Vento Trail is thinking about coming through that area, and that would connect up the south side with our Lake Avenue and the lake links. I also am very interested in helping seniors in that area who would like to, who are done keeping care of their homes and they want to move out. I'd like to see affordable senior housing option put in on the south side for the seniors that live on the south side, similar to the Pioneer Manor for people who live over by the downtown area. So I'd like to see an option like that go in for those people if they want to stay in their community.
Thank you. The next question goes to you first, Mary. How will you ensure transparency and accountability among the council?
Yeah, I think we have a fantastic city council and we have a fantastic staff, and our city manager, Lindy Crawford, is wonderful at communicating her budget. I don't know if most people have watched online on the city's website. She does a fantastic job of explaining the tax levy. I want to continue that. I want to continue Lindy and the staff communicating what their needs are for the city. I also would like to improve communication and make sure that we have one centralized person communicating the needs of the staff and the needs of the community out to the community. Thank you.
Thank you. The question now goes to Stephen.
Earlier I said that I want to promote the city, and I want to promote it not just externally, but internally. So as mayor, I want to speak as often as I can. I want to go into the schools. I want to talk to the businesses. And that's a way that I can put some echo on what the city is saying and be able to support that, because transparency is a function of communication. If nobody's paying attention, how can it be transparent? Thank you.
Thank you. The next question goes to you first, Stephen. Give some examples of how you have worked productively with people who did not share your opinions. How did you deal with decisions when you were in the minority?
I'm the chair of the Birch Lake Improvement District. We have 60 members, everybody who owns Lake Shore on Birch Lake. And we got together and we decided that we would create a tax district to fund the things we want to do on the lake. Number one problem on that lake is weeds. Well, the first thing is we had an argument. Half the people wanted to poison the weeds, and half the people wanted to cut the weeds. So we had some very, very lively meetings. Well, we ended up cutting the weeds because the majority said we don't want to do it. I want to dredge the lake. 96 goes right through the middle of the lake, cut off the inflow. North Birch Lake goes off the back of the lake. We have early eutrophication. I wanted to dig out that dirt. It's legal, but nobody in the membership wanted to do it. They shut me down, and I said, you know what? It's a democratic process. Here we are. We're not doing that.
Thank you. The question now goes to Mary Nicklawske.
Yeah, I've had a 33-year career working with people who are blind and visually impaired, and that encompasses, blindness doesn't discriminate. It encompasses every religion, every socioeconomic status, every color, every creed, and I know how to work with people of different opinions. I've had several people who haven't wanted to work with me throughout my career, and I was their only choice, so we've had to work together, and we've worked that out. As a volunteer, I did 6 auctions, live and silent auctions, where I'm leading a group of 20 to 30 volunteers, and there's not everybody who's agreeing on how things should be run and what the budget should be, and I had to take a firm stand on how to do things and how we were going to run this to make it a success. So I've worked with a lot of people in a lot of different settings, and I've always been able to figure out a way to get along with everyone.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next question. It goes to you first, Mary. According to the Metropolitan Council, 50% of renters in White Bear Lake and 20% of its homeowners are considered to be cost burdened when it comes to paying for housing. That means they must devote more than 30% of their gross income just on housing. Do you have ideas for how the mayor and city council could address the need for more affordable housing in our community?
Yes, I do. I really think that one of our biggest issues in the city is that we have the highest growing senior population in the state of Minnesota for a city our size. And I really want to make sure that we find some affordable living arrangements for our seniors to give them options to move to places that are affordable. If that happens, now that frees up some housing for young families and young people who are trying to buy a house here. So I would like to see some senior housing be built that's affordable for seniors, similar to a Pioneer Manor, which will afford our families to be able to buy a home here and rehab the homes. And that will in turn support our school system and support our seniors, because the school system supports the seniors. So that's my solution.
Thank you. Stephen?
Yeah, I'm kind of facing that myself, because as I've retired, my income has gone down, and I have a house on the lake, and you know what the taxes are on a house on a lake. And right now, my number one living expense is taxes. And if that continues, I may have to move out. So I'm facing the situation that you're talking about. Now, what I'm kind of excited about is the new zoning that's coming through is going to make it a lot easier to have auxiliary dwelling units. They call them ADUs. My wife and I have been having an argument about that for the last 4 years, because I want to put 3 ADUs in the front of my house, and I want to use that to supplement my income, but come on, these senior apartments are $2,000 a month. Who can afford that? We can put up ADUs, get them in our that's a service to the community, and it'll be half the price. And we won't have high-rises all over the place and high-density housing. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next question. It goes to you first, Steve. The population of White Bear Lake and its school district are becoming increasingly diverse. How would you, as mayor, work to ensure that everyone feels safe and welcomed regardless of their race, religion, gender, age, or socioeconomic status?
Well, the first thing is I do not like putting people into groups for political reasons. And so everybody needs to be treated the same. Everybody needs the same opportunity. Everybody needs the same safety regulations. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you do. We need to keep it all safe. So some of that is with the police department, and I may have some influence with that, but a lot of it's with the school. And as a mayor, I don't feel I have too much influence with the school. But yeah, we need to make sure that there's no bullying, that there's no crime on our streets, and that everybody feels safe and protected.
Thank you. The question now goes to Mary.
Yeah, look, I work with people who are blind and visually impaired. That also includes people in wheelchairs. That also includes people who are deaf. We cannot treat everybody the same. Everybody has different needs. And if you go into a school with a child and say, well, we're going to treat you the same, they're not going to get Braille books. They're not going to get the services that they need. So I'm for making sure everybody is treated on an equal playing field with equity. Equity means that everybody has the same access as everybody else. If we give everyone the same size shoe, it's not going to fit everybody. We have to make sure that people are treated fairly in an equitable way. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question goes to you first, Mary. What are your experiences managing an organizational budget?
Yeah. So as I said before, I've worked 6 live and silent auctions. I've also run my own business. But the live and silent auctions were the most challenging because you are dealing with a lot of people. You're dealing with a lot of people and a lot of different opinions. And I'll give you an example. I worked for the auction at St. Mary of the Lake. And when I came in to work for that auction the first year, they were making about $20,000 to $30,000 a year. And I came in and looked at that budget and I said, what are we doing spending $1,000 on decorations? That's not going to bring us in any money. So I looked over the budgets extremely carefully, and we ended up raising $60,000 that year. Go on, fast forward another 4 years, and we ended up raising over $100,000. So I am very good at managing people, managing budgets, and making sure things are done properly. I can spread a dollar like you wouldn't believe. I'm very, very well versed on the difference between a want and a need.
Thank you. The question now goes to Stephen.
The largest company budget that I have managed is $10 million a year. Relative to the city, it's kind of peanuts. Company budgets are different than city budgets, but yet you have the same issues. You have income, you have expenses. You need to make sure that you spend efficiently, and you need to make sure that you don't sweep things under the rug too long. I understand capital expense. I understand bonding. The city budgets have a bit of a different cadence in that it takes much longer to steer the ship or to turn the ship in a city environment than it does in a business environment. So it's just more difficult. So I have some experience, not at the level of the city, so this would be new.
Thank you. Next question goes to you first, Stephen. The city's 2040 comprehensive plan states that, quote, protection and enhancement of the city's natural resources and its environmental setting will assist in the city's goal of becoming more resilient in the face of evolving climate, unquote. What do you consider to be areas for improvement regarding White Bear Lake's responses to environmental issues and climate change?
Boy, that's a tough one. There's a number of them. I'm obviously focused on lake management. That's what the Birch Lake Improvement District does. Our water levels ebb and flow with the rainfall. Just this week, my shoreline came up 4 feet. And White Bear, is a bit of a different situation on the lake. There are other places that are going to need attention. Water runoff is an issue. We have some of the highest salt concentrations going into our lakes. There's a number of things. Quite honestly, I haven't given it a tremendous amount of thought. And so that'll be one thing that I'll come up to speed on.
Thank you. The question now goes to Mary.
Yeah, I think it's important. I don't know if when you walk around downtown, you can see that there's trash cans everywhere, but there's not recycling bins. I'd like to include recycling bins in downtown. I think it's important to maintain our trees and possibly try to work more trees into our downtown area and refurbish the trees. I know emerald ash borer has really taken a hit because of climate change, and so I'd like to replace some of those emerald ash borers. Also, I think we should enforce our water conservation ordinance. We do have an ordinance that prohibits watering from 10 to 5, and I really think that's important. Sometimes you're seeing your neighbor out with, when it's raining and they're watering their lawn. I think that's one of the things with communication that I want to foster in this community and people getting along, that you feel comfortable going up to your neighbor and saying, hey, you're watering your lawn, it's raining, can we stop? Let's save our lake, let's save our community for our future generation.
Thank you. Next question goes to you first, Mary. We have covered several issues of concern from community members in this forum, but are there additional issues that you see us facing in the near future?
Yeah, I think that we really have to bring White Bear up for our future generations. We really, I think it's important that we start working on our downtown infrastructure. It has not been changed since the 1970s, and I think we need to start building that and thinking about the future generations. I think we also need to improve our communications. We have a lot of excellent dedicated staff here in White Bear Lake, but there's no one centralized communication system out to the people of White Bear Lake, and I really would like to see that improve. I think EV chargers around town would be helpful as well. I know that's in the new zoning code that if you have more than a 30-person parking spot, we're going to have EV chargers in. So I think just starting to slowly, not super fast, but just slowly, incrementally improving White Bear Lake and maintaining. It's just like a house. You've got to put some money into the house every once in a while, and we need to do that here in White Bear Lake.
Thank you. The question goes to Stephen.
Yeah, deferred maintenance is not a good thing. It piles up.
Right.
I think one of the big changes is the new zoning, and I think that has the potential to open up new issues. I mean, there's going to be cannabis stores in our community. The law says that it has to be there, and it's designated in the rezoning. There's going to be, more opportunity for high density. There's going to be a lot of changes in that we're not going to see the repercussions of it. As legislators, we make decisions with best interest, but we don't always foresee the unforeseen things, because when you change law, you change behavior. We've all seen that. You make something different, and all of a sudden everybody squirts around to do what you inadvertently allowed them to do. So I think the zoning thing is going to be a big deal. It's going to be a focus of my watch.
Thank you. That concludes all the questions that we had.
Wow.
So we will now turn to closing statements, and we'll go in reverse alphabetical order. So we'll start with Mary Nicklawske.
Okay, well, my name's Mary Nicklawske, and I'm running for mayor of White Bear Lake. We have a gem of a city here, and I would like to keep it that way. I know that the tax levies have been an issue lately, and I just want to say to people of White Bear Lake that we are paying far less than about 10 different cities that are all 25,000 people or less in our community. We are paying far less in our taxes. 21 cents of your taxes goes to the city budget. The rest is school or Ramsey County. And I would like to make sure that that 21 cents gets spread as far as it can without raising it too much, but making sure we get what we need here in White Bear Lake. I am dedicated to making this community come together by effective communication. I will show up, I will listen, I will learn, I will collaborate with you and work hard for you. I'm retired, and this is what I want to do right now. I think this is all about getting along and learning to live together with respect. I ask for your vote August 12th. Thank you.
Thank you. Now with his closing statement is Stephen Laliberte.
I want a birthday present. August 12th is my birthday. So I want you to vote for me. This is give me a birthday present. But seriously, I sort of have this metaphor in my mind. I would like to be the captain of the ship that we call White Bear Lake. And a captain of a ship is concerned overall, number one, about the safety of the ship, and that's the course of the ship. You don't crash the ship into the shore. You delegate to your staff, you support them, you help them. And, the ship provides you with food and water and entertainment, and you all live together in the same geography. And so I see that as a critical role and mindset that I really want to protect and advance our community. So I ask for your vote.
This concludes our forum for the mayor of the city of White Bear Lake. Our website, lwv-wbla.org, has listings for all of our candidates' forums and links where you can submit questions to those forums. You can view the recording of this forum and all of our forums on our YouTube channel, League of Women Voters, White Bear Lake Area. You can also look for it on your local cable channel at times of their choosing. Thank you, and to remember to vote. For the August 12th primary, early voting began yesterday, and it runs through August 11th. Thank you.
Thank you.